Aliens watching reality TV.
Interesting human behavior.
I'm learning so much.
Hello, welcome back to Aliens Watching Reality TV. We just watched Love is Blind Season 4, Episode 6.
Hello, Aliens Watching Reality TV cast member 2, Josh here. Yes, we did, and we also watched Episode 7. But we're only going to talk about Episode 6 in this episode.
Yeah, I like that. We got to be completely honest with our audience. We don't want them to think we didn't watch 7 when we did.
We did.
But we're just going to talk about 6, so it's okay if you didn't watch 7, because we're not going to spoil it. Nope. Heck no.
No, I think Episode 6 was not... Episode 6 and 7 worked together for me. But yeah, I'm ready to get to talk about the homes of these people and the way that they relate in a space that is not owned by Nick Lachey.
Yeah. Speaking of Nick Lachey, so we see our supposed hosts at the beginning of this episode, Nick and Vanessa. I'm starting to wonder if they have gotten something into their contract where they never have to actually be in the same physical space as the people on their shows. It's weird, right?
Yeah. I feel like something's going on over here. I mean,
so you watched Love is Blind Season 1 more recently than I have. I feel like Nick and Vanessa were in the same room as the people on the show sometimes.
Yeah, it seems like I feel like at least Vanessa is not as much. Nick is being utilized a little more, but they're both, yeah.
But it used to be okay, tell me if I'm wrong, because maybe I am. But they were in Mexico with him, and they were just doing more active hosting of the show. And now it's just they've recorded their host parts completely independently of everything else, and they're just slotting it into the beginning of some of the episodes. It's very odd. Do they just not like having to talk to normal people, or what is it?
I don't know. I mean, I think maybe part of this could be that because of the timing of Perfect Match and Love is Blind, there's a few shows happening, and they're involved.
They have too many shows that they need.
Maybe they're involved in too many
job
things.
on.
They're trying to get too many people who are looking for love to find their perfect match and their love while blind.
It's just odd. It's Nick and Vanessa never seemed all that invested in this anyways, and now they're really 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, the real value here is the awkward couple, so...
Do you mean Nick and Vanessa, or the couple?
the couple, the other couples. I mean, Nick and Vanessa are already each other's perfect match a little bit.
Yeah, they're a little bit awkward too, though, I feel like.
I mean, since they are not on camera a lot, not on in the scenes, I'm kind of just over them, to be honest.
Yeah, they're we heard that maybe one of the couples didn't work out. We aren't paying attention, though, so... So we're not here to add anything to the show experience. Here you go.
No, we are not. Yeah. So let's jump right into episode 6. Yeah.
We finally get to see what happened between Zack and Bliss at the coffee shop. What do you think of their first meeting? Oh, I'm Erika, by the way. I never said that.
No, you're not Erika.
Yeah,
Sure?
I am. Yeah.
So let's start with the fact that Zack and Bliss are meeting in Seattle.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They are now back from Mexico, where Zack proposed to Irina and not Bliss, and then broke up after that whole shebang.
Yeah, and Bliss isn't instantly over it, which is beyond fair. She's
she's
She's I can't really forget about that whole thing that just happened. It really hurt my feelings.
Consider the
a lot of crying off camera.
Yeah, I mean, they literally had a whole... He broke up with her, and then a week later, they came back from Mexico. So like,
Yeah,
she's
she's
still
had a
more,
week in
yeah,
Seattle crying and feeling like shit, and
yeah,
then he
yeah.
comes back from Mexico, and he's like, "Actually, I could have brought you on that Mexico trip, but I didn't. I had a bad time, so now I want to backtrack."
Yeah, no, it's like for me. I think the fact that Zach was there was really important because he could have chosen not to be there. He could have
Where?
chosen to Bliss. Like he could have
Oh,
chosen to avoid facing the wrath of Bliss, but he doesn't. Um,
well, but he wants another chance.
yeah, and I'm
It's
kind
not
of
like
like
he's
I feel
just
like
apologizing.
remember when I was like begging Zach's mom to help him out? I feel like that
She's
his
dead.
yeah, I think his mom helped him out. I mean,
What are you
Bliss
talking
is
about, Zach? Oh, wait. Did we talk about that? I can't. Did we just talk about that, you and me, or we talked about it on the podcast? Because yeah, Zach's mom is dead.
we have talked about this on the podcast before. Yeah, Zach's mom
I
has
just feel
passed.
like
No,
it's
no, no,
really
no. While we were
we were
watching
hoping
this
that
shit,
like her
yeah.
spirit was helping
I was
him.
like,
I feel
please,
like
Zach's mom, do something. Because Irina was, I think it was right before Irina basically changed his mind and made him dump Bliss. And just like
I
the
just
level
I
of
just really feel
manipulation.
like maybe that was just a conversation you and I had that wasn't on the podcast.
Yeah, I think for me, the point where he says, you have pretty eyes, and she says, you also have pretty eyes. I kind of was like, I was like, this is it. This is the moment where Bliss is like, you fucked up, but you're very honestly coming and approaching it from like a very honest place, Like, yes, I fucked up, but like I want another chance with you.
It's also
And
where we see that Zack isn't just weird to everyone. Like it's not that Irina had a response that anyone would have. Bliss isn't having any of the kind of reaction to Zack that Irina had.
and in fact, Zach talks about that eye thing, the eyes
Yeah.
thing
He
where,
says, "Do you think I make too intensive eye contact?" And Bliss says, "No, why? Am I like looking away? I think I do tend to like look around." I mean, honestly, they just have a few like lines right there back and forth, which really back up what I have been saying. And I know you agree, but some people on Twitter were a little scandalized by me saying this, that this is just him being neurodivergent and communicating in a neurodivergent way, and Arena didn't like it. But then Bliss clearly also is neurodivergent. And
yeah,
so the eye contact doesn't seem weird to her. And in fact, she just thinks first of her own eye contact and
yeah,
maybe that hers is weird. And then
yeah.
he literally says that we're the same kind of weird and our brains work in the same way. I'm like, yeah, this is
Yeah, you're
exactly,
basically you're figuring out that you're both neurodivergent. Congratulations.
yeah. And they don't necessarily know that's what they're figuring out, but like, that's why they can click, and all of the shit that seemed weird about him to Arena is not weird about him to Bliss, because it's not weird. It's just that like neurodivergent and neurotypical relationships don't tend to work out very well. They just don't.
No, they don't. I mean, it's just it's kind of like trying to get let's see. It's trying to get a duck and a dog to work together. Like it's just not going to work out.
Yeah, and then being mad at one of them for being, you can't be mad at a dog for being a duck wrong, or vice versa. Like,
Yeah, yeah, like it's just those are
can
different
you please
animals.
stop barking and start quacking? No.
Exactly. Can you please like swim?
Yeah.
Can you like actually run instead of like quack 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 quack?
Yeah.
Penguin.
No.
You're no, it's just not gonna happen. And so I think as much as you wanna like shit on Arena, at least she
Which
didn't.
I'm planning on doing later in
Yeah,
this
we
episode for
should do a
sure.
lot of that, definitely. At least she didn't pull a Jessica. Like, we could be watching Zach being even more uncomfortable with Irina and.
Oh, that she was willing to pull the plug instead of to continue the
Yeah, I
relationship till the
mean,
last
I feel
possible
like
minute.
yeah, it's just so yeah, that was just so sad. Like the whole Jessica thing, show up to the whole wedding thing in a wedding dress, your family isn't there. like everyone kind of knows you don't really want to go through with it. It's just like, dude, why are you? How much secondhand embarrassment can you accrue?
And I mean, it happens every season, and you haven't watched all of them, but like every season, there are people who clearly have decided well before the wedding that they are not interested, and they still like tell the other person, "Yeah, no, I'm totally excited to get married to you," and then say no at the altar, which I just think that is the most devastating thing to do. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, I think it was very difficult to watch Mark's family go through that the last time.
Yeah,
But this
but
time
I mean,
around, yeah. I mean, the fact that there were no families
also,
involved and
men have done it to women on the show too,
Mhm.
like, and more recently, because you haven't seen it yet, but in the previous season, Bartice did it, which is one
I
reason
mean,
why I
listen,
came into Perfect Match hating Bartice so much.
Bartiz kind of showed himself to be a duplicitous ass on Perfect Match too. So it's not like, I mean, he's just as yeah. Just I don't want to talk about Bartiz right now.
Okay, I just don't want it to seem like we're only noticing it when women do it, because it's both genders have done it. So yeah, I mean, Bliss is basically like she's not ready to just let bygones be bygones. She's not ready to let Zack off the hook, which I
And
think
it's been one
is
week.
fair and
It's been like a
reasonable.
week. I'm sorry, you cannot
Yeah,
let it go.
but she's
Um,
also not necessarily saying like I'm done with this, because I think this is basically what we said we would do if we were in her situation. Like
yeah, you take
we
some
wouldn't
time,
want to
but
let
yeah,
our hurt feelings get in the way of pursuing a relationship that we did want. And so she does still feel a connection with Zach. She does still have feelings for him. And so she's not going to punish herself, just in order to prove a point or to assuage her ego, and I respect that.
yeah. No, I feel like yeah. I feel like the date. I mean, the quote unquote meeting was really really nice. I mean, it was like Zach basically saying, "Yeah, I obviously fucked up, but here I am. I still want to be with you." And Bliss is like, "Okay, I point taken, but you've kind of been a douche, so I'm gonna take some time to like fully see that you are like real and like this is for real." And it's not like it's not the first time that Bliss is meeting him, you know. That's like the first time she gets to see him too. So kind of a hard deal, but
What do you mean? Yeah,
I mean,
it's the first time they're meeting
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah. It's
person.
the first time they're meeting in person. So like Bliss also needs to take him in for a minute, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. But I was like, I feel like Bliss is into him.
Yeah,
Like,
I think so. Or else it would have been a lot easier to just be like, you fucked up. I'm not even going to hear out what you have to say. Bye.
yeah, yeah. I mean, to me the part that stood out most was that he talked about his eyes like do I look weird when I stare? Just I was like, wow, that really stuck with you, that Irina comment.
God, of course it would. I think yeah, it would. Because that's just how he makes eye contact. He's doing the exact same thing with Bliss, but she doesn't think it's creepy. Because it's not creepy. It's just different. Irina was reading it as creepy, but like I think also creepy and like that is something that is so nobody wants to be creepy. So if you
Yeah,
start getting it in your head that something you do is creepy, you're gonna
you're
probably
not gonna
want to
do it.
check with a bunch of people to see if that's true or not. Because uh yeah, nobody wants to be fucking creepy. Nobody that would
I
suck.
mean, if anybody wants to be fucking creepy, just let me know. Like, I'm gonna go slap them for being creepy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say
uh,
nobody, but like, you know, people who like whip their dicks out on the train, they want to be creepy. But like, we're not talking about them.
yeah, no, that's not what we're talking about. But that's it. So now, so they walk out together.
Yeah.
Like he walks her to the door. Um,
He says like, I hope we can do this again. She's like, we'll see.
Yeah, and so from there we move on to the next.
Paul and Micah.
Yeah, so we're moving to Paul and Micah, and
Is it just me, or are they just chemistry free? Just a
there's no
complete lack of chemistry in that
they're
partnership.
kind of like Damien and Francesca, where there was no chemistry, they just fucked.
Yeah.
So
Like they're telling you that they're into each other, but you're like, I don't
no,
see
no, no,
it.
no, no. It wasn't there. It was just not there. And I think we discussed this, and I told you that I feel like Micah's in it for the sex. Like he's I feel like
But she didn't want to at first. Like I think
I
she's
think
in
she
it to
didn't
be on
want it at first,
TV.
but I thought it was good. I think the sex is good. I don't feel like the
don't
rest
know.
of it is working out. No, the sex is going on. Like Paul was talking about how she's an Energizer bunny in bed.
But I mean, I like she hasn't been like, yeah, the sex is banging. She hasn't said that to anybody. I don't think. I think she wants to be on TV, but like I don't know how
No,
much
she talks
she's really
about it.
into Paul.
No. When they're standing outside on the balcony, she has her foot on his foot.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she's being all lovey. Like, they are talking about sex, and
Foot on
they're
her foot.
actually having sex. Like,
That doesn't mean it's good.
no, it doesn't mean that it's
Sex.
good. It just listen. When people
Maybe it's. I think feet are gross, so I don't think a foot on a foot is like, ooh,
when
wow, look how
people
connected they are.
don't fuck, they don't get married.
Yeah, but people who fuck also sometimes don't get married.
Sometimes, I mean, more likely.
The point is, like, I don't see that they're really, like, I don't see any spice between them. You know, I don't see it.
Wait,
You think that
no,
you
I
think the
feel
foot
like
touching connotes some spice? You think it shows like ooh la la?
No. I feel like there was definitely spice. They rubbed feet. They talked about fucking. Yeah, and then she was
Okay,
like,
we'll
"Yeah, I'm gonna
disagree
go
on
have
this one. That's
sex."
fair.
And so they went inside and they were talking about it. And he was like, "So what do you want to do tonight?" And she was like, "What do you think I want to do?" You know? And
Yeah,
he was like, "Yeah, I know you." Like basically, yeah, they're banging. They are banging. But
I'm not
you are
disagreeing. I'm not saying they're not banging.
but you are absolutely right in that there's nothing else going on. He's very neurodivergent. She's very neurotypical. This is not working out. Like she's probably in it to. I don't know why she's in it, honestly, at this point.
See, it's like in these scenes with Paul, she just. It's like you kind of had a read on her personality when she was with Irina, with other girls. It was a personality that was very unlikable, but like you saw one, and I can't really like. It doesn't feel like she's really revealing anything of herself in this episode. Like I don't. It's like I don't know what she wants or who she is really, and so whenever Paul is talking about their connection, I'm just like, what is it? Like, who is she?
Yeah. What do you agree on? Like, what are the things that you like?
What does
Like, just
she
show it to me.
actually like about Paul? What is she?
Yeah.
I just have a hard time seeing that this is anything besides a like made for TV partnership. You know?
It's like Irina, but they left Mexico together. It's like Irina and Zack, but they left Mexico together instead of breaking up. And then later Paul meets Zack, right?
Yeah, but we'll get there. That's it. That's near the end.
But we're gonna talk about Chelsea.
Well, hold on, because first, Micah brings up to Paul Irina saying that she is attracted to him and she has feelings for him, and she basically asks Paul about that. Like, she says that made her kind of like doubt their relationship and like, is there anything she doesn't know? Does he have feelings for Irina? What's going on there?
That was a very, very awkward conversation, to be honest.
Yeah.
I did not want to be there.
You didn't want to be there.
No.
It's funny too because like he ends up admitting like, oh yeah, I mean she was kind of like touching me a little bit at the pool party, but I thought like that certainly this must not be anything because like Zach's right there and like Micah's right here, so he had just sort of written it off as like, oh, I must be overreacting. But then they show a clip, and you can see Irina's like touching his foot in the pool. Once again, what's up with these people in feet? What's up with these people in feet?
He got
Why do people want to touch Paul's feet? I don't get that.
her boob basically smushed his foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very like it was.
Ugh.
Irina was pretty clearly trying to touch him,
Yeah.
and there are so many questions here and so many icky things to discuss. But
And then Micah's mad. She's like, listen, I was busy that whole pool party flirting with Kwame, but I do not like it that somebody was
exactly,
flirting with Paul while I was busy flirting with
yeah,
Kwame. That's not okay.
that
What I
was
was doing was
bullshit.
fine.
Exactly, like me playing, me like pressing those abs like buttons on Kwame.
Yeah.
That was just being friends, okay?
Yeah. But Paul, you were there while Irina was having feelings for you. That maybe makes me mad at you. Maybe you did something wrong there. It's like Paul hasn't done anything, but it's just interesting that now maybe it is even also like a deflection to kind of deflect away from anything inappropriate that Micah may have done on said trip.
Yeah, and I feel like when they were having that conversation, I just like I could not shake the feeling that Micah was just trying to get something on Paul, like like to find dirt,
Like she wants to
basically.
have a reason to be mad at him, but
Yeah,
he's
but
not
like
giving her
there's
any.
really nothing to be mad about. Like so she
She does
came
kind
in
of seem like
like
the kind of girl who prefers a
yeah,
dramatic relationship, and Paul just
yeah.
isn't supplying his side of the drama because
No,
he doesn't
Paul
even know
is
what
not
drama to
dramatic.
supply. He's like, I like plants and like bugs and stuff.
Yeah, and it's so funny that he talks about him liking plants, and he was talking about how weird it was that he used to only date girls who had plants and whatnot. And
Witchy girls.
yeah, like he literally, that's what you do, bro. Like you have plants and books. Like I don't think you can like look in the mirror while holding your plants and books. Um, yeah, so Micah and Paul have that weird conversation about that, and then
And
Micah,
then
is this where Micah goes to see her? Her friend?
not yet. First, we're gonna have
Oh, we're
Kwame
going
and
to
Chelsea go to
oh my
Chelsea's
god.
apartment,
Kwame
Chelsea's
and
Pink Palace.
Chelsea. Kwame and Chelsea. Chelsea is very, very happy to have Kwame around. Kwame's also very
Honestly,
happy to be
Kwame
around
and Chelsea
Chelsea.
sort of have some of the healthiest vibes of this episode. Like,
Yeah.
they. I mean, obviously, we don't know about Kwame's inner monologue. Is he still thinking about Micah? I don't know, but he's at least learned to stop fucking talking about her, and he's just focusing on where he is. So good for him. He's finally doing what everybody has been asking him to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and so he Chelsea's house is beautiful. It's really
Yeah.
beautiful. Like beautiful
Every
in that everything's pink.
yeah.
Everything is
She
yeah,
said that she bought it after she and her ex broke up. He was very controlling about how she decorated.
yeah,
So
that
this
was so
was sort of
shitty.
like a place for her to just be herself and heal and make everything as pink as humanly possible.
Yeah, Chelsea's apartment is just beautiful. Like I think it kind of is Chelsea in a way. Like if you took Chelsea and like made her into an apartment,
Yeah,
it would
which I think is
become
exactly
Chelsea's
what she was
apartment.
trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah, like it kind of reflects how she is. And she has a sweet little old dog.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Her dog does
know.
seem sweet.
Her
I wonder who's
dog
been
was
taking
really
care of him.
sweet. And yeah, and the doggo wants to, the dog was just sitting there and I'm like, why don't you grab the doggo and like, why don't you all go sit with the doggo?
Maybe,
Like,
he's one of the dog. He needs a little time to adjust,
oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure Chelsea
listen.
was treating her dog with respect. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt on that.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is that Chelsea and Kwame don't live in the same city. So Kwame lives in the other Seattle,
Yeah,
which is
but
Portland.
they get into that in the next episode. We promised we would stick to episode 6.
Well, I mean, we know that he lives. We know that he lives in Portland. We're not getting into it, but we do.
Okay. Yeah, and she says now that she's like kind of looking around at her apartment, she's realizing just sort of like how lonely she's been, and
Mhm.
that it's lonely to come home to a place where you live by yourself. And
Yeah.
she says that she frequently FaceTimes her friends during dinner so that she can eat with somebody
Yeah.
else. I
That
would,
kind of, yeah, that was a little weird for me because I tend to eat as quickly as possible and just get the fuck out. Like, I'm done eating in 5 minutes. So
I would
I
not want
was,
somebody to FaceTime me during dinner. I
no,
wouldn't
no, no, I
like
don't want
that.
anyone to watch me eat. I mean, whatever's
Also,
good for
I don't
you.
like to FaceTime at all. I'm I'm not a FaceTimer, but I feel like people really like they are or they're not. You know, people love it or and they want to do it all the time, or they're like me and they're just like, if you want to FaceTime me, let's have a specific topic you're trying to talk about and a specific amount of time and then stop. And then other people want to just like keep people on FaceTime for endless amounts of hours just to like have company.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, that part was a little heartbreaking, and it just sort of, there's
Yeah.
so many people that I know.
It did make me think more like, man, I hope they work out. You know, I hope that Kwame is everything Chelsea thinks he is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, the whole idea of the show is bonkers, but like seeing how happy Chelsea was at that moment was just, I was like, all right, you know what? Love is blind. You're okay.
Also, like, I know it is bonkers, but I definitely like, I know very quickly in a relationship if I love somebody. Like, and luckily now I have had enough relationships and enough time passed after them to know that, like, it's true. Even if I think within a week that I love somebody, I do love that person. I can look back and say, yes, I did love them. I know really fast. So it's probably like it's a little less uh insane to me than to a lot of other people who really do move more slowly in relationships. Like, I'm not saying that it's necessarily a great idea to
Yeah.
move that quickly, but I do know that I do it even without a TV show telling me to, you know?
Yeah, I've done that before. I've told somebody that I've loved them 3 days into knowing them over the phone, having never met them, and a week
Yeah.
later telling them that I want to marry them.
And looking back on it, was that love real? Did you love them?
It was the realest love I've had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really real.
It's just yeah, it's just some when you know, you know. Like
Yeah.
that is a thing. It's an intangible thing, but it's real. It doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to work out, but it doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to work out if you spend years and years before you get married. You know, like either way, it might not work or it might. So I don't know that like necessarily we can even say that one way is more likely to lead to success than the other. Ultimately, you're going to end up just having to make a relationship work or not. And so, yeah, I feel like, hey, if you want to marry somebody a month after you meet them, go for it. That's what I think.
But I mean, with the connection that Kwame and Chelsea have, like, it's like, it looks great. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're,
I think they can make it work. I'm starting
yeah,
to
I'm
feel a little
starting to be
better
a
about them,
believer in
honestly.
them, honestly. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they're kind
seem to be adults. Like, one of the things that I really like is that
of,
there's no temper flashing. Like, they get close to it, but then they're like, all right, let's climb down. Let's talk about this, you know?
yeah.
Um,
And I'd say Kwame seems like comfortable and at peace around Chelsea. You know, he seems happy around her.
yeah, yeah, I
Where
think
like in
Kwame,
some previous episodes, he's just seemed like kind of dialed up, like, you know, he's just a little
yeah.
like the tension has been coiled up. But around Chelsea, he just seems kind of at ease.
Yeah, and you also kind of have to take out like the villains. Like Micah's not around to constantly like needle.
Yeah. But of course,
Um,
that's part of the thing is can you continue your happy relationship when difficult things arise and when people are around you who don't support you? And because, yeah, lots of relationships can work just within the bubble where everything is perfect. So,
right. I mean, as long as you're in Mexico, Nick Lachey is paying for accommodations. Oh
Yes.
yeah, like
I'm sure it's coming out of
everything's gonna be
Nick's pocket.
right, like everything's gonna be great. I think that's one of the things that Chelsea said as well, like before leaving Mexico, was like, I wish we could stay here forever, but yeah.
So we can move on, I guess, to Tiffany and Brett go meet Tiffany's friends.
Yes. So yeah, so they go
And I
meet
just
their
gotta
friends,
wonder,
and I feel like
two of
one
those
of
girls, are they twins?
I don't know if they're twins, but one of them definitely has a crush on Tiffany.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
It
know.
was pretty hard. She looked like devastated. I mean,
I did wonder, like, have they known each other since they were kids or something? Like, we don't really get
yeah, I feel
any
like
backstory on them, but
yeah.
the way that she's like, she talks about giving away Tiffany and you need to love her the way I love her. So, like, either that's, yeah, like more than just a platonic love, or it's just like they're basically like family to each other. I don't know, because they didn't give us that info. But I did really wonder if those two white girls sitting next to each other were twins, because I just kept looking at them and being like, are they twins? Or maybe they don't even look alike, and I just am seeing things. I could not figure it out. But you couldn't figure it out either? Or you didn't? It didn't even occur to you? Maybe they're not twins at all. I have no idea.
I mean, I wasn't sure. I don't know. I think they looked alike, but I don't think they were twins.
Okay. I did think it was
Yeah.
interesting too. Like, they introduced a couple of Tiffany's friends, and then they had a couple other friends that were just like there, and they didn't even. And it was a little odd.
Yeah, no, I don't think they were. That said, I mean, the friends were pretty blown away by Brad. And, I think,
It did seem a positive meeting.
yeah, it seemed like a really positive meeting. I don't know why. I mean, they haven't involved the parents yet, but the friends seemed very, very happy and very, very impressed with Brad, just as we were,
Yeah. I mean, he gives a good first impression. And as far as we can tell, a good second, third, etc.
Yeah, and
They did also talk about Tiffany falling asleep. And
yes.
her friend said that Tiffany is in her phone
Yeah,
as Miss
basically,
Sleeping
yeah.
Beauty because she is such a sleeper. So apparently that's not a one-time thing. It's just a thing.
Yeah. And it was, I think for me, the level of comfort that they had with each other was just perfect. Like, that's kind of what I was expecting from them moving forward with their relationship after leaving Mexico.
Yeah. I feel like they're doing as well as everybody thought they would be doing.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically the top relationship of the show right now.
Without a doubt. Undeniable.
Yeah, the only issue they had was what? She fell asleep.
Yeah, which, I said that I relate to that because I have fallen asleep in many very odd situations. But every time I've talked about, like, me and my sleepiness publicly, I'll have people tell me, like, hey, just FYI, this is exactly how I would describe myself, and I actually have been diagnosed with narcolepsy, so maybe you should look into that. So I do kind of wonder, do Tiffany and I both have narcolepsy? I don't know.
Yeah.
Whenever people tell me that, I'm like, well, that's very interesting. I don't have like $5,000 for a sleep study, so I may never find out. But maybe, it's more than just a cute little personality quirk. Maybe we have narcolepsy. I don't know. Maybe Tiffany, she probably does have like good enough insurance to get a sleep study, so maybe she should.
I don't know. Maybe Nick Lachey should get her some. Come on.
Yeah.
Take care of your contestants, man.
Yeah, let's get Tiffany a sleep study. At least one of us should get one, and it just doesn't look like it's going to be me anytime.
I need to get a sleep study as well.
Yeah. Do you maybe also have narcolepsy?
So I wake up a lot at night. And so my doctor thinks that I might have sleep apnea.
Oh, so like opposite problem.
Yeah. I'm basically having trouble breathing and waking up.
Well, sleep studies for everybody then. Let's get a Love is Blind themed sleep study.
Yeah, wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah. Just Love is Blind cast members and fans all together to find out if there's something actually medically wrong with the way we are sleeping.
Yeah, so all right, so do we move from this?
Yeah. So now we get to Paul and Zack hanging out, bro time.
Yeah. Oh my God. Paul and Zach hanging out is just so awkward and weird for me because they're talking and you're just listening to them and you're like, you innocent little babies, like you know nothing. You're both neurodivergent. You
Yeah.
have, and it's just yeah, especially Zach talking, and you're like, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. You just got conned by a 25-year-old.
Yeah.
um.
It is
Yeah.
weird too because like, you know, it's quite obvious to us that they're both neurodivergent, but a lot of the Love is Blind audience just likes saying that they're both like serial killers, and that's apparently a less controversial thing to say than that they're both neurodivergent. Um I feel like that should be more controversial. I feel like that's like more rude in my mind.
Hmm. Yeah,
I don't
yeah. I mean, I liked the fact that the guys were meeting. I would have liked to see I mean, I would like to see more of this happen with Love is Blind. I mean, if
bro
they pick
time.
yeah, yeah, some bro time, some girl time. Um
And then we
especially
can hear more of like their actual thoughts about what's going on.
yeah, because you get to talk to someone who's had a similar kind of experience as you've had, you know, going through the pods, going through that attempted relationship. And then, yeah, so it
And
would
we
be
get to
nice
hear
to hear
Paul's
them.
we get to hear Paul's explanation of what he likes about Micah, but it clarifies nothing because it doesn't sound particularly good. He says that they have the same mindset that life is chaos and you need to just work with what you have. He loves that. I'm like, okay. Um, he likes that she's not overly analytical like he is. Yeah, we get it. She's not neurodivergent. You are. And then he says that she meets the minimum criteria for the perfect woman.
It is
The minimum. The minimum.
oh my God, it is the most embarrassing thing to say. Like it is just so
I love
sad
her because she meets the minimum criteria. Like
for a
Paul.
perfect woman. And I'm just like,
She's
wow.
not. If they're still together, she's not gonna be blown away by hearing that. She's not gonna be like, "Wow, I feel so loved."
Yeah. No, no, no. I don't think that's happening.
Oh man.
Sorry. I cannot
And
stop laughing about the fact.
Zach's like, yeah, I totally see you guys going the distance. I think like you guys are a great couple. I know nothing, obviously, because I proposed to Arena, so you shouldn't listen to any of my advice. But I think that you guys are a great couple, and just make it work. Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they don't
But
talk about Bliss much.
no, I don't remember if they talk about her at all, really. But then we get to move on to a much more passive aggressive meeting. When Micah and Arena hang out, and Arena has not figured out at the beginning that Micah isn't calling her up just like for a friendly girl time. She's like, "Hey, you crazy bitch, yes," and then Micah, I just also think it's so weird. Micah like hugs her and acts like she's there to hang out as friends. But it's like you're there to confront her about like coming on to your fiance. Like these are just the neurotypical social things that I can't participate in. Like I'm not gonna hug you and tell you look cute before telling you that I'm upset with you for flirting with my fiance, you know?
That was another incredibly uncomfortable conversation. Like the way
Yeah.
that they broached the subject and talked about it was very, very neurotypical. Like neither
Yes.
of them really said what they wanted to say. They just basically played this weird little game where basically Irina was like, oh, sure, I cede some points to you. And Micah's like, yeah, you've been a little bad, but you know, I can get over this. And it was very awkward. It was very awkward to see that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Uh
way that Chelsea handled things was, I feel like Chelsea actually cared about Kwame, you know? I don't feel like Micah cares as much about Paul.
no, I think she's mostly just annoyed that like Irina was flirting with him. You know, she doesn't like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very odd, and it's just like I don't know. It's a very weird conversation also because Irina doesn't really like. She doesn't say basically like she doesn't say any of the reassuring things that like you would say if you really were not going to try, if you weren't going to keep trying to go after your friend's fiance, you know, like she basically like fesses up a little bit and then it's just like, yeah, you know, I do find him attractive, like I don't think he's into me, you know, and or I don't know what he feels about me or something, and Mike is just like, yeah, I know he's not interested in you, so like I
My
don't give a shit
God.
about that.
Yeah. Wow. It's just such
But
a
like the feeling I get from coming away from it is that like Irina is definitely still gonna flirt with Paul if she gets the chance,
hmm hmm I mean,
and
it was pretty
does
clear from their discussion. Yeah.
yeah, which is just weird. And I guess Micah is still going to like kind of be friends with Irina, even though she seems to also kind of hate her guts. Like
hmm
what you know really came, what was the point of that conversation? Did anything really come out of it? I don't it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. I don't know why they even had that conversation. I think
Yeah.
probably because the director was like, "Hey, we need to get this drama angle a little more explored." And so, how about we have this conversation where you make it extremely awkward? And they do. Like for neurodivergent people, it's like a terrible conversation. I was just like, motherfuckers, just like talk about it. Just talk about it. And they're not talking
Yeah.
about it. They're just like beating around the bush. Like just sit down and be like, "Why did you boobed his leg? Why did you boob his leg?"
I
And
feel like she touched his foot with her hand, but like
no, it was her boob.
mm, I guess we'll have to do a replay. I'll have to watch it again.
you want to watch it to see if how Irina, like I don't want to laugh about this because this is actually a little serious. I mean, if I was there and as a I don't know if this is my neurodivergence or not. I don't like people touching me especially when I'm like that naked. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
No.
please.
I yeah, if I'm in a swimsuit and like I don't know, we're like wet and at a pool, I don't want anybody touching me. That's for sure. Unless it's like, you know, if I'm in love with somebody and that's different. But like if I'm in love with somebody and then their friend is touching my foot, that I'm not down. I'm not down for that at all.
Yeah, yeah. What if their boob touches your foot?
If it was like on accident, but if it was on purpose, that would be weird.
Yeah, I'm more of a stay away from me when I'm in the pool.
Yeah, but also as we established before, it's very unlikely that you're ever going to see me in a pool. I'm not really into being in a pool anyways.
Yeah, I can't swim, so I stay away from that stuff.
Yeah, better safe than sorry.
Who are we roasting next?
Nobody, I guess, because the rest of the episode is not that dramatic. I mean, Marshall makes Jackie breakfast, and he's clearly just as like amazing as like we kind of thought he was. Like, I mean, he also knows how to make beautiful pancakes and a compote. He plates it for her, and Jackie's just like, she literally says that she's never been loved before. So like this is amazing, but it's also kind of like new for her. And I don't know. I really like, I want them to work out, but I don't know that Jackie kind of keeps hinting that she's not sure if she's ready to be loved.
So while I was watching this episode, even before I watched this episode, there's something going on with Jacquelina that they're not telling us. Like, I don't know what it is, but
I think it's with her family. I mean,
yeah, what is going on with her family? I feel like she's supporting her family, and that's very stressful when you're supporting an entire family.
I think her
and
family's
then-
really pissed about what she's doing. I don't think that
Yeah.
they want her there. She's probably
Yeah.
getting like angry texts and phone calls and stuff, and we're not getting, you know, to hear and see all of that because it's just like private and personal, and that makes sense.
Yeah. But I mean, consider the fact that the dude wakes up in the morning and makes her pancakes. And he is sweet to her, he's loving to her, he's kind to her. And he's trying to do everything he can. I mean, it seems like to
She does have a
us.
lava lamp, though, so she is bringing things to the relationship as well. I
Yeah,
love a
yeah,
lava lamp.
yeah.
I love a lava lamp. So, like, that, she gets 10 points just for the lava lamp in my
Oh
book.
my god.
Heck yeah.
You're not
Also,
allowed to
she is
bring a
funny
lava lamp.
because he asks what color is it. She goes, mind your own business. Like,
Oh my god.
like, she is funny. But I don't know. I feel for her because she's just so frequently sad or, stressed, going through a hard time. And that is going to affect their relationship. And right now, Marshall is trying really hard to not have it affect him. But there's just kind of only so long that, like, you can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I think for me this relationship requires more revealing. Like we need to know more things. Like I keep watching Jackie and I know that there's more, but I don't have enough information. You cannot just show me this person who's struggling with anxiety and struggling with stuff that you're just not telling me. Like what is this person struggling with?
And I
Like
wonder if that's kind of happening in their relationship too. Like maybe she's also not sharing all this stuff completely with Marshall. I don't know, but it does seem like she's sort of somebody who keeps a lot of things bottled up inside.
yeah. Yeah, I think we need a more thorough exploration there. I don't feel like it's happening at that moment. But I feel like they're probably saving it. They're probably saving all the
Maybe for like
drama.
family meetup episode.
Yeah, they're saving it for a family for I mean,
Yeah.
we'll find out. We'll find out at some point.
Yeah. Because we're gonna end up meeting somebody from Jackie's life. Like, I assume.
I mean, I think there are several people, at least two people, I think.
That we'll meet?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, yeah, I guess we can wrap up with the end of the episode was just Chelsea and Kwame getting nervous about meeting parents. Chelsea is
Oh,
her
yeah,
dad's
yeah.
coming, and she's just
Her
kind of
dad's
getting
name's Charlie.
yeah, and turns out that's also Kwame's dad's name.
Yeah.
And she's just getting stressed. She's getting a little nervous, and then that's making Kwame nervous. And then she says, like, I think they're both sort of like, your stress is making me stressed. And they're just feeding off each other a little bit.
Yeah.
I think she just has literally no idea what her dad is going to say, which I get it. Because I kind of have one of those dads too, where I frequently am like, I cannot gauge what his reaction will be. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like depending on the mood, really.
Yeah. I mean, not to give away too much tea about my family, but like, a lot of it, is my dad tired or is he not tired? Because then we're gonna have a completely different experience.
And all right, so with that, we wrap up this episode, and in
Yeah.
the next episode, we will see what happens when Charlie shows up.
Yeah, so we will be posting our episode 7 recap tomorrow and 8 recap the day after that. Pretty fucking exciting new batch of eps.
Loving it.
I mean, I'm on a road trip right now, so I brought my computer and microphone and everything to record on the road because that's how dedicated I am to Love Is Blind.
That is definitely Erika Heidewald for you.
Yeah, dedication, professionalism.
All right.
I'm learning so much.
All right, so I guess how can our listeners find you on Twitter and other places?
They can find me at Erika Heidewald. And I'll just put all of our links into the description. We have started hearing from a couple of people, been listening to the podcast and like what they have like sort of learned from what we've said and just like their reaction. And it's really, really fun. It's makes this, not that it wasn't worth doing already, but it makes it even better just to know that like it is actually helpful to get our perspective sometimes. And I do think that's part of why Love Is Blind is fascinating, is because it helps you understand your own relationships, and like it helps you see patterns of people's behavior, and just kind of, especially for a neurodivergent person who like, this is how we learn to understand people and communication and everything, to be able to see things from the outside is very helpful.
Yeah, I am.
And how do people find you?
They can. I was about to say I am J Shahryar at Twitter, so it's JSHAHRYAR, and it should also be in the information section for this podcast.
It sure will be. All right. Well, then we will see you guys soon. Hope to hear from some of you, and please leave 5-star. We've finally gotten enough 5-star reviews that it does say we're 5 stars on iTunes, and it makes me happy. It does feel pretty good.
It does. Okay. Well, then you know what? I'm gonna be sleeping happy tonight.
That's all I've ever wanted. Gotta set our bar higher for life.
All right.
All right.
And we will see you in the
Okay.
next episode.
Till death do us
be
part.
well. Amen. Bye.
Bye.